What's up, and welcome to the Eagles Checkdown right here on the Eagles Pinpull Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stifle, at Bearded Knowledge on all social media platforms. Shoot me a follow if you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Greatly appreciate it. I'm here to bring you the Eagles Checkdown, which is the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, talking news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's Thursday, October 3rd. And the bye week continues with more theory, more opinions, more talk on the Eagles and their struggles in week 3, week 4, week 2, week 1, throughout the entire beginning of the season. Today, I want to start off this episode. Now, Shane Haff, one of the founders of the Eagles Pinpull Podcast Network, does some great work with Chalk Talk and on the Shane page and all the other great All 22 breakdown. I was watching one of his videos on Wednesday, and it was showing the breakdown of the first play on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on offense, speaking. The Bucs had marched right down the field, scored a very easy 7 points, put us in the hole. And he broke down that first play in slow motion that the Eagles ran. And it basically was 5 curl routes with no options. And he said it basically, so I'm kind of reiterating what he said, but it kind of brings up the point. And again, it might sound like, as all week, that I'm making excuses for Jalen Hurts. And I'm not making excuses for Jalen Hurts. I don't want to. He has been bad. He has turned over the football. But where are the easy throws is what Shane Haff had to say. And to me, that brings up the question of who is designing the plays? Who is designing the offensive game plan? Who's making the real decisions here, Kellen Moore or Nick Sirianni? And yesterday on this show, I kind of started bringing up the idea that maybe Nick Sirianni is a bigger issue than I've been willing to admit in the past. But when you have that situation where you have 3 new wide receivers running routes, where you have an elite running back and an elite tight end, you basically run 5 routes that are exactly similar into the same exact spots, putting 0 pressure on the defense. So again, you're not setting Jalen up for success. Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback still. You know, Ross Tucker was on WIP saying how this is still an above average team and a very good quarterback. Maybe he's not that upper echelon top 3, top 4 elite, but he's still a quarterback that can win you football games. What you have to do is you've got to play to his strengths, and you got to take him out of the position to be that gunslinger. Something with Kellen Moore was he let Dak Prescott be a gunslinger when Dak Prescott with the Cowboys should have been a game manager. Well, we're seeing it again with Jalen Hurts, where he's being forced to play hero ball. He thinks he has to play hero ball. He's not being given throws and routes that are easy. If you set up some easy throws for Jalen Hurts or early in a game that builds some momentum, that starts getting Jalen Hurts into a groove where he can then go on and do some of the other things that he does well and set up other things. I mean, it also goes to the Saquon Barkley usage. Who's designing the play? Who's designing the offensive system each week? When you've got a running back like Saquon Barkley and he touches the ball only 10 times on the ground in a game, when it wasn't really as out of reach as people think, this is on the offensive game planning. This is on the offensive coordinator. This is on the head coach who still to this day has some kind of too much influence on the offense. And this is the problem that we've got to deal with as we're moving forward. Like Ross Tucker said, this is still an above average team. You've still got an elite wide receiver duo in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Both should be back in week 6. You've still got an elite offensive line, an elite tight end, an elite running back. Play to your strengths. That is the key thing going forward to the rest of this bye and into next week. You know, I saw my man Brendan Deeg on his Twitter account remind us also, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. Remember these key stats here. You know, just Lane Johnson. We've heard the win-loss record with and without Lane Johnson so far this year. On the plays with Lane Johnson on the offensive line, the pressure rate given up by the offensive line is 26.6% and a 5.6% sack percentage. Without Lane Johnson, that 26.6 jumps up to 43.5 successful pressure rate and an 11.6 percentage sack rate. So again, while it all sounds doom and gloom, We're missing A.J. Brown. We're missing Devontae Smith. We're missing Lane Johnson. What we need the coaches to do is design a game plan to fit what Jalen Hurts does well and to take the pressure off of him to get his – Jalen Hurts has proven that he can be an elite quarterback. He has lost his confidence. So you need to design a system and a game plan week in and week out to get that confidence back so that then we can start seeing that Jalen Hurts from 2022 and the early part of 2023. On top of all this positive that I said, I'm trying to keep a positive spin as much as possible. We do have, I saw it on NFL and Fox's social media accounts. They posted the strength of schedule from week 5 on, the rest of the season in the NFL. At this moment, the Eagles have the easiest schedule remaining in the NFL. So while we're 2-2 and the world is falling, the sky is falling on the Eagles, we have a clear path to still have a successful run in the regular season and put us in a position to succeed in the postseason if you design a proper offense around Jalen Hurts to accentuate his strengths and take away his negatives. Some other side notes I want to cover real quick. First and foremost, Seth Joyner said something funny on one of his shows that he makes appearance on, because, we've been talking a lot this week about the optics, especially from Darius Slay, who has not been that good this year and is not handling the fans very well. He says it's time to sit Darius Slay. Do you think the Eagles should sit Darius Slay? Play one of the young cornerbacks? I don't know. I don't agree with it, but I get the frustration from Seth Joyner because Seth Joyner would never have been going on an Emmitt Smith podcast back in the day or an Emmitt Smith AOL chat, back in the day. I guess that would have been more, maybe I don't even know if AOL was around back then. He wouldn't have gone on Emmitt Smith's weekend radio show. That's what I should say. On top of that, fun little interesting, and drop in the comments, would you consider sitting Darius Slay and starting Isaiah Rodgers or Keely Ringo? Again, I would not. Stoke the fire because I know Fox the Gambler, I love those guys over there. Sean Brace and company do a fantastic job. They got a picture of Bill Belichick at the Philadelphia airport today, and they're circulating around social media, stoking the fire a little bit more about the people that want Bill Belichick in Philadelphia. So I just want to answer you and drop it in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or however you want to find me on social media at Bearded Knowledge, and let me know the answer if you're listening to this on Apple or if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this. Would you take Bill Belichick the rest of this season over Nick Sirianni? For me, the answer is a simple no. I'm past the Bill Belichick train, even though I'm moving on to, considering the option of moving on from Nick Sirianni. I don't want Bill Belichick. It's Thursday Night Football tonight. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the Atlanta Falcons, 2 of the last 3 teams we face in a big NFC South matchup. The line has dropped from 2.5 to -1.5. Atlanta's at home, favored by 1.5. I am going to take the Atlanta Falcons in this game. I am going to be betting it. The home team wins more often than not in these situations. 2 teams that we may look a lot better than they probably are, but it'll be very interesting to see 2 teams that beat us, how they fare against each other on Thursday night. It's actually a really good Thursday night division matchup, and I'll be looking forward to that game. Guys, this is the Eagles Checkdown on the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network and video streaming on the STT Sports Network as well. Make sure you find my YouTube show, Trending in the AM, on the STT Sports Network. I put a copy of the link below in the description of this video. Make sure you copy and paste it. Check out my new YouTube channel. Make sure you click subscribe and tune in live 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, where we're not just talking Eagles, we're talking Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, everything going on in the world of sports and whatever's trending. And it's the only show in Philadelphia, the only sports show that's live on the dial or online where your opinions actually matter. Again, this is the Eagles Checkdown, the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network. I am Phil Stiefel. Go Birds, and bubbles up to you.
With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows the resourceful individual to earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Get the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth for just $5 a month. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC.